I started practicing Jiu-Jitsu. I was around 15 years old, and I met Rickson Gracie, and he was a neighbor, he was a friend from the street, and we get along pretty good. And I didn't know nothing about Jiu-Jitsu, and I never heard anything about the Gracie family. And with the time went by, a year and a half, a couple years later, Rickson asked me to give him a ride to the academy. And when I gave him a ride to the academy, it was a parking stall right in the front of the academy. So I had no other option than to park my car and to go up to check it out, what this Jiu-Jitsu was, what this stuff that Rickson was telling me. And I only knew him from the street, so I had no idea about that, what he was doing. And when I went up there, was Avenida Rio Branco, 151, 18º andar. It was Hélio Gracie sitting down right on the reception. And I saw this old man with white hair, and shook his hand, and right away I can tell the guy has some serious grip, or some serious decision when he was holding my hand. And he asked Rickson, so this is your tough friend, Rickson? That's the guy who's been telling me, the boxer? And Rickson said, yeah, that's my friend, that's my boxer friend. And at that moment I was like, I don't know what this old man wants now. So he pretty much he convinced me to get inside the school, and that when I walked inside the school, I already knew, because I had an option, I had opportunity to see Rickson a few years early in a grappling match. He was a green belt. He was just a little kid, and I saw him rolling with another guy. The other guy was a purple belt, and I just could not believe what I saw. I thought those two guys were trying to kill each other, because they hug each other by the neck together like a headlock, and Rickson just climbed up the walls and flip around and go to the guy's back, and it was incredible acrobacy moves. It was just unbelievable the way how they're doing. So a year and a half later, when I was visiting the school, I told Rickson, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just coming here to give you a ride. So when Hélio told me, no, let's go ahead and put the boxing gloves on him, I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. No way. And later, Hélio told, no, you're just going to face my young son over here. And when I look around, it was Royler. It was just a little tiny, skinny kid. And I thought in my mind, this man must be crazy. I'm going to kill this little boy. There's no chance. I came from a good background, from good boxing, and I did taekwondo, I did judo, martial arts always been in my life. And plus all the scuffling that we would get in the street. So I would thought Hélio was kind of a little bit crazy. He's like, no, just put a boxing gloves on him and do your best. Do whatever you want. Do anything. And I look at Royler. Royler was just smiling. He was just having, like it was another day, having a lunch. It was no big deal. And I was all nervous, and I was worried about. So they put me in boxing gloves, and the gym was a very small gym. So I didn't have too much room to run around. And every time that I saw Royler just corner me in a corner, he just pushed me against a corner. And next time that I remember, I was on the ground, and Royler was on top of me, choked me, armbar, and I was helpless as could be. I couldn't do anything against this 9-year-old boy, and I was 15 years old, not tough 15 years old. I was a scuffling kid. I was not a fragile 15 years old kid, and but I had no chance with Royler. And 40 minutes later, I asked for a break, and I went to the bathroom, and I had convulsions for 40 minutes. Hugging the toilet and throwing up for 40 minutes. And I looked at the door, and it was Hélio and Rickson. And Hélio was making a comment, so Rickson, that's your tough friend? He doesn't look that tough for me. And I was throwing up. And Rickson was like, Daddy, leave him alone. I'm never going to see him again. He's never going to come back here. And it's like, he doesn't look that tough for me. Hélio was making fun of me. And I look at Rickson, I remember looking at him, and he had a gi on his hands. And on the bottom of the gi was a name, said Victor Vasconcelos was the name that was written down on the bottom of the gi. And Rickson, he gave me that gi and said, if you keep training Jiu-Jitsu, this is your gi. But if you stop training, you got to bring this gi back to me. And I still have the gi at home. That was about almost 40 years ago. All right, guys, now I'm going to show you guys here a little difference, a little detail in a technique that many times that might go really quick and you don't even notice, but that's the difference between understanding about the leverage or not. So one is then if somebody comes in, grab your gi. So if, grab your gi, grab your shirt. The self-defense move, you can go ahead and grab it, And a move that is not so familiar with technique is just to go ahead and lift the guy's arm up here and go to the guy's back, and that will be a self-defense move in Jiu-Jitsu. But it's missing the details of the technique. And the details is when you grab it, base. Make yourself a good base. The same time you're going to touch the elbow, you're going to step forward and you're going to rest your elbow right in your hips. So when he tries to pull the elbow down, my body is holding his elbow up. Don't ever put your head inside here first. You're going to lift it. And you're going to lift with your body here. Now you're going to bring this leg right back there. And you got the guy here in an armbar. So that's a little difference between doing Jiu-Jitsu with technique and just doing Jiu-Jitsu. Well, the training environment at the time was a very harsh, very hardcore training. We used to train for 2, 3, 4 hours straight and no stop. We used to spar. We used to spar really hard, going full blast from the beginning to the end, and several different partners. And we had the school used to be in downtown, so we had guys that used to work in the stock market, like myself. I was one of those guys. And it was a lawyer, it was doctors, it was people that used to come in, and very tough guys. And now Helio Gracie's kids, Hoyer, Helson, Hickson, they were all those Hoyle and Hoyes came from a little bit younger generation, but they are present too. And it was a very hardcore training. The training was not so much instruction. The instruction we get more from private. And because my friendship with Hickson, and I was a very light person, very easy to deal with, and I was completely naive guy, very fresh. Right in the beginning, I started taking private class from Hickson, and I took about 6 years of private class, and I told this many times, but and one time I paid for a year of private class, and Hickson got my check and gave it he bought a car right across the street, the academy, and it was a very hardcore training, and it was just used to have the competition between the Carson Gracie team. That once in a while it was a very tough guys. They're more rough. They're more they want to just go full blast. Helio Gracie School and Hickson Gracie School was more the technical side of Jiu-Jitsu. Even though we trained pretty hard, we devote a lot of time on a sparring situation and grappling. But Helio was very concerned about the technique. The technique has to be perfect. And that's something that he was very attention. If you did the move perfect, Helio look at you and just shake his head like this. If the move was 1%, 2% wrong, he would scream right in your ear, right? That's wrong. You gotta do this, gotta do that. So right away we have to go back and redo the move. And he was such a hardcore guy. I remember when he was teaching us how to pass the guard standing up, and we spent about 2 hours. Passing the guard standing up. We came to a point that our legs was so exhausted that was shaking in one way that we barely could stand up. And Helio was like, do it again. You got to do it again. Do it again. And on the end, when everybody thought the train was over, Helio told us to take our gis off and pass the guard without the gis, when the legs are like that and you have nothing to grab it. So Helio was an incredible technician. He was super rigid. He was very hardcore instructor. He never settled for nothing than perfect. And I got some other stories about Helio too. It's kind of funny story. I attend class, English class, when I moved to the United States in 1990. When I came over here, Helio was living at Hickson's house. And so we both, me, Helio, and Limon, Luis Heredia Limon, that lives in Hawaii, great guy. Incredible instructor too. Limon, Helio, and myself, we used to share the room. The room was the garage. There was the mat, what everybody used to teach class there. Hickson was there, Hoy used to come there, Hoyes, the Machado brothers, Renzo. It was everybody there on the garage. And that was my bedroom and Helio's bedroom, so we shared the same room. And every day in the morning, me and Helio, we used to pack our stuff and we used to go to school together because it was a free class. It was a free course that we used to take in Torrance High School. We used to walk there and sit down in a class with a whole bunch of Hispanic people and learn English. And one time the teacher told Helio, to grab an apple and to put an apple somewhere, to put this apple somewhere. And Helio decided to put an apple in a window that was open in an angle like this. It's a little basket, like those windows that open in an angle. Helio decided to put the apple on this angle, but every time he put the apple rolled back. The apple rolled back. Well, 15 minutes later, and after the whole class screaming to Helio, please come back home, sit down, please, let go, stop it, find another place. He finally balanced the apple on the window. That's for you to see how stubborn Helio Gracie it is. All right, guys, another important detail here. I'm going to try to attempt to pass the guard here. My goal is to pass the guard, of course, but you're going to notice that many times you can get caught in a situation that we're going to demonstrate right now. You can come over here and maybe break the guy's leg, so the guy's leg is down here, and you just decide to pass the guard. The moment that you pass, you leave your leg back there, and the guy go ahead and trap your leg. So I got my right leg trapped, as you notice here, my right leg trapped. And if I take the leg out of there, he catch my leg, so I end up in half guard. I need now to start passing half guard over here. Well, I can try to take care of this problem here from the beginning by doing always back straight with posture. The moment that you break the guy's guard here, instead you just go ahead and pass, you hide your leg. So if the guy tries to catch your leg over there, your leg's no longer to be caught anymore. Now what are you going to do when you move yourself forward? I'm going to bring my right foot right on top of his leg, right here. Now you can go ahead and give me a hug, toes on the ground, control this leg over here. Now he cannot catch my leg anymore. And I'm over here now in cross-body position. So that's the difference too, how when you pass somebody's guard, how to pay attention about those little details, why you don't get yourself caught in half guard. Yeah, I believe that when you train Jiu-Jitsu with a lot of intensity from the beginning and not so much instruction, what's going to happen is you're going to progress faster. You're going to achieve a better level faster, but you're going to go down quicker. Your level is going to go down quicker. And the reason I'm saying that is that because you're going to rely so much on muscle, and all the energy you're going to put it on using your muscle, and that's the energy is already came with you. You walk in the door, when you walk to the school, the energy already came with you. And in my point of view, every time you go back home and you leave the door and you leave the school, you should bring your muscle plus technique, not just your muscle that you came in. So I understand. My understanding is that if the student, for anybody who would like to progress in Jiu-Jitsu, and you focus more in the technical aspect, you are going to progress, but not so fast. Then if you decide to take some steroid shots and go to the gym and lift a lot of weight, you're going to get stronger and faster and quicker and a lot hardcore, a lot faster. But eventually you're going to pay a big price for that. And the big price is going to be injuries. It is when you have two human beings that they are not educated in the art, eventually you're going to get hurt. People, you're going to twist something, you're going to twist the joint a little bit farther, you're going to twist your knee, your back, your neck, something's going to start hurting a little bit more. The other side, if you do have the technical aspect, you can protect yourself, and you only use muscle when you know that you're going to receive a award, when you know you're going to know what you're going to get. If you all use muscle to escape from every move, you're only trying to freak out. It's like this: if you have no gi and you got Vaseline in your body, it's pretty hard to hold somebody over there. Doesn't mean you're doing Jiu-Jitsu. If you decide to freak out from escape from a position, you're not doing Jiu-Jitsu. You're just freaking out. You're just trying to use all your energy, all your muscle to escape from a position. But in the other hand, if you know Jiu-Jitsu, you can utilize your energy, but with a good leverage. You can have a knowledge of Jiu-Jitsu and put leverage behind, and now use all your muscle, and you're going to be unstoppable. It's going to take time for you to build that. That's the reason that the Rorion Gracie and all the Gracie family, they said that it takes around 10 years for you to be a good Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. Well, I believe you can take less. One way is that we got to be thinking about the students. We are building a lot of confidence, a lot of character, a lot of integrity, a lot of respect, discipline, self-control. Those are very important factors of martial arts. And when you can slow people down when they come to the class, and you can slow them down, you're going to be able to work not just in the technical aspect, but you're going to be able to work on the guy's character. You're going to know the guy's integrity. You're going to know everything that's missing. And a good instructor will help how to fulfill any kind of need the student has. So it's not just, you cannot take only the best guys, the tough guys, to be around you. The difference between the Carson Grace team and the Helio Grace team was that the Carson Grace team was a lot of athletic guys, guys with a lot of disposition, muscle, and Carson used to tell people, you go ahead, go, 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 all the time, go, go, go. It was, faster, faster. There was no slow speed. It was very hardcore trained. And Helio was more the technical aspect. Helio was more concerned about, you got to know the mechanic. You got to know the self-defense. You got to prepare yourself not for Jiu-Jitsu tournament, but for self-defense. You have to understand how to deal with, you never know. If you understand about Jiu-Jitsu, you can protect yourself in any situation. You can be inside your car, you can be inside your house, you can be in your hallway of your house, you can be laying down in your bed. Doesn't matter where, you're going to be able to use the environment in your favor. If you all the time you train with only muscle, and you're not aware of the benefit that the technical Jiu-Jitsu can give to you, sometimes you miss this point. You try to freak out in a situation that doesn't matter for you to freak out right now, because maybe you got 10 guys on top of you. Doesn't matter how much you're going to freak out. It's better for you to find a position that you're going to survive than to keep freaking out, trying to escape the situation that you're not going to be able to escape. It's the same sometimes you can have the best weapon in your hands, but you cannot use it. The explanation is you can have a grenade. If you're inside the elevator, what are you going to do? You're not going to toss a grenade inside the elevator, because you're going to be gone. So in Jiu-Jitsu, that's the kind of aspect. A good instructor will teach the student how to utilize mechanic, how to utilize leverage, how to utilize the best of his ability to, number one, survive, to number two, of course, to submit your opponent, and in a kind and smart way, always look for the environment. You have to be aware of the environment, no matter what. And that's what Jiu-Jitsu does for you. All right, guys, we're going to do a same subject. It's just not change too much subject, but we're going to do from the mount position. When you establish the mount, and the guy in the body decides to do the elbow escape, you're going to notice that most of the time you get caught in half guard or full guard. So if I'm in the mount position, and I notice Mike is going to push my leg over there, look what he's going to do. He's going to push my leg, he's going to trap my leg over there. Now he can go ahead and escape. Go ahead and escape. Put me completely back in the guard. So I was in the mount position, no longer in the mount position now, now I'm in the guard. Well, how can I avoid this situation? So if I'm in the mount position here, and I notice that Mike starts escaping, the moment I know he's going to escape, I bring my foot up. And the moment he tried to put me in half guard, I hide my foot. So he tried to put me now in half guard, I'm just in the stomach. I can maintain this position here. So I don't have to be over there in the full guard or half guard. Well, the way I handle situations of guys that go too hard and they get injuries, basically we come up with a rule about 8-9 years ago, and that rule is a very good rule. It's a 3-strike rules, and we just tell the guys, say the first time you're going to get warning, the second time you hurt somebody, you're going to sit down and watch the class, and the third time you're gone. So basically that's what it is. And we implement another kind of variation of the rule, is that as long the guy that you hurt, as long the guy's in pain and he cannot be on the mat, you cannot be on the mat either. You got to sit down and watch the class. So what that does, allowed you, every student, to number one, explore better techniques. Because if I know that I can trust the partner that I'm grappling, if I know I can trust him to do a perfect arm bar on my arm, and I know he's not going to break my arm, well, I'm going to try to escape. I'm going to try to do moves because I'm trusting my partner. If I don't trust my partner, it's going to be hard for me to go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to try to escape now. If you break my arm, no big deal. I know you didn't mean it, but you broke my arm. So it's very important for you to develop a trust in the school. What we're doing in a Jiu-Jitsu business, we are helping people how to develop confidence, how to be a better human beings. And the way to be a better human beings, you got to have respect. Respect is a line that came from, with no respect is you cannot do nothing in life. Basically, that's what you can tell that in my point of view, that every successful person will have a respect for something. Will have a respect for his mom, respect for his father, for his older brother, for an older friend. They know about respect. But the key is not just respect the person who can beat you. The key is to respect the person who cannot even touch you. You know you can beat this person anytime you want. The key of the human being is for you to be able to respect that person. For you to respect a kid, a child. You know you can grab a child and bend and do whatever you want, but if you can't respect the child, that's mean because you're a better human being. And that's what Jiu-Jitsu can, good instruction in Jiu-Jitsu can bring this to the game. The respect, the integrity, the courage, the self-control, the discipline, and this make a better human being and make better people. That's what we are about. Well, when Rorion Gracie decided to create the UFC, I was there with him, and I received a proposal to be an investor, to invest some money. It was a very hard time. We used to teach class. We used to cost $20 an hour for private class, and it was a very hard time. And the concept, the idea was excellent. And I remember the first UFC, sitting down on the right around the octagon, and when Taylor Tully fought Gerard Gordeau, and when I saw a tooth flying and fell like about 5 feet from me, I looked at the tooth and I looked straight to Rorion, and we looked at each other and we're like, oh my gosh, we're in America, because the deals like in Brazil, guys are small people, small size people. When we came to America and we started dealing with bigger people, right in the first fight, right in the first contact, we saw a tooth flying like this. We're like, oh my gosh, we didn't know if the show was going to continue. We had a lot of people trying to stop the show. It was very uncomfortable in the beginning. There was a lot of court battle. There was a lot of people complaining. The idea of the show was phenomenal. I believe it was one of the most incredible ideas. When you talk about the martial arts environment, I think that was the turning point for the martial arts environment. The UFC pretty much took all the doubts away from everything that we thought before. And I used to be one of those guys. I used to be a Bruce Lee. I was a Taekwondo guy. I trained Taekwondo with Marco Ruas. We used to train together in our neighborhood. When I was probably 11, 12 years old, I used to get my Taekwondo gi and go to the academy. And I used to believe that I could kick somebody and actually kill the person. I remember my instructor used to have a big knot over here a callus on the front head here, callus on the wrist, and callus on his feet. And he used to break tiles. We used to imagine, man, if this guy punched somebody, he's going to kill the guy. And one time, Helio Gracie went to the academy and kicked his butt. Helio Gracie went there, and there was a challenge match, and Helio pretty much put him to sleep there at the scene. And so, anyway, going back to the UFC, I believe the UFC cleaned up the whole environment, and I believe that right now, I'm a totally respectful guy when you talk about karate, kung fu, because I was one of those. I used to be a Taekwondo guy, and when I see Taekwondo, I see great value in the Taekwondo. I see great value in karate. A lot of people like that, and they like the exercise, they like the practice, and they build respect, build character. I believe Jiu-Jitsu can be an incredible add-on for any system, any karate, any kung fu, any academy that wants to elevate the status and wants to be not feel like, hey, we only do this, we only do karate. Anybody who'd like to blend in some kind of art, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is a very important art to know, because it does not conflict with anything that karate does. It does not conflict with anything that boxing does. Or Taekwondo is a completely different subject that the only thing they need to do is just take a little, not even talk about pride, but if you are humble enough to get somebody on your school, and you know that your whole entire school is going to benefit, yourself and the whole entire school, everybody's going to benefit with the implement with another art there that's not going to compete whatsoever. One is black, the other one is white. It's completely different. One is doing our standing up strikes, the other one is doing our submissions and ground. So you can very easily blend. The key is to find somebody who will respect that, who will respect the art of karate, who will respect the art of taekwondo, who will respect of the art of aikido. That's the whole key, is to have an instructor who will respect, who are going to be there just to add on, not to challenge or to make anybody uncomfortable or to hurt people. Somebody who goes there wears a clean gi, clean cut, hygiene, very important, and treat everybody with respect. Every karate instructor, if you do that, you're going to increase your business, you're going to increase your reputation, you're going to bring your name, because the student's going to look at you, the instructor, going to say, no, if my instructor is telling me this stuff is good, brings more respect to him. That's a very important part in the martial arts world. This next segment, we're going to see if you find yourself on the bottom and your guy in the top position try to punch in you, what you're supposed to be doing, how you're supposed to worry about your hands or your head, what's the kind of approach to do over there. So if I find myself over here, one thing that you don't ever do it is try to stop the punches by using your arms. Because when you try to stop the punch by doing this, you allow your opponent to climb up. And when he climbs up, now I lost this. I can bridge here, and I cannot escape no more here. Even if I try to hold him over there, anyway, this is a lose situation here. So basically what you want to do here is to make sure that you keep your opponent always down below, keep your elbows close to the guy over here, and if you can, trap the leg first. When you trap the leg over here, you're going to trap it, you're going to point your knee out. The knee is pointed out here. And one thing that you can do here too is many times, you see guys always escaping that foot over there, is to keep my elbow always outside over here where his legs are. My goal now, when I see the hands coming up, I want to arch it. Arch it. That's the whole point over here. And of course, when you do the arch, you arch and the hand goes on the inside. And you trap, push, and then up right here. So let's do one more time here. So basically what you got to do here, you have to keep your elbows always outside, control the guy. I step out, point my knee out here, my knee's pointing out right now, and my goal is to arch and catch his arm, because I know the arm come to me. I don't have to worry about the arm going to come. You catch the arm, my right hand can go ahead in the hips, and you push over there. You can push the guy and up right position here, and you're pretty much safe over here. It's better than to be on the bottom position and let somebody climb up and I'm going to defend in just one punch, I'm going to defend 50. Because now it's up to the referee to stop that. We can never forget, that it was a family that devote pretty much their whole life to do that. And I know today we see a lot of people that maybe against the Gracie family, against the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu method, but we cannot forget about that. If it was not the Gracie doing what they did, we probably would not be doing this today. We'd probably be doing some different stuff today. So I'm very grateful for what Julian did. I'm very grateful. Helio Gracie did, first of all, Helio Gracie, because Helio Gracie is only one. Whoever know him, whoever took class from him, whoever smelled his gi before, will never forget. Whoever trained with Helio before, never forget. So Helio was a person that is going to be here. He's going to be the legend. Helio is the living legend. And I trained with Helio every single time that Helio Gracie was on the mat. And I was on the mat there. He always looked at me and said, Pedro, come here. And he always put me on the ground. We always grappled. Somehow, maybe because I was a small guy, he liked the way how I used to train. He liked the way how I was more involved in the technical aspect. But he always wanted to train with me. So about 3 years ago, we did a seminar in Atlanta. And Helio was over there, and he just came to me and wants to train with me. He was 92 years old. And he got me twice. 2 times he put his hand right in my neck, right deep on my neck, twice.
You know how to fall.
But it is an incredible opportunity, incredible feeling, just to see a 92 years old man, be able to perform, be able to do things, and be able to catch you. And it's not that I'm a new guy getting catched by him. So it was an incredible opportunity. So what I done in the past 10 years, that I was just me by myself going out and doing seminars, doing clinics, and doing training camps. Now I have 45 black belts. They're qualified people. They can just walk in any part of this globe and help any school. And just to know that you being a part of this association, you have 100 schools. We have people that they don't want to leave the system. They just don't want to leave there. They want to receive. Another thing that I noticed that happened, it is, I'm not sure because they know that every belt that I receive came from the same instructor. Somehow this rubber off in my students that they want to receive belts from the same instructor too. You know, I see my students holding, no, I don't want to receive belt from my belt only come from Professor Sauer. You know, and I see this everywhere I go. And that's something that surprised me. And of course, I feel glad, I feel proud about, you know, the loyalty they receive, because I never ask for loyalty. I just receive loyalty, and that's what I believe that loyalty is supposed to be. You should never ask for. You know, that's something that got to be there. The student has to recognize the value. You know what? I got my belts from the same person, from the white to black. And as of today, I'm the only guy that can say I got my white belt, from white belt to black belt, from Rickson Gracie and Eddie Gracie.